Boston, easily over 2 feet of snow. New York, about 1.5 feet, maybe even more. And I mentioned it's not just the snow, it's the wind as well. Take a look at these ridiculous forecast wind gusts. We're talking on the order of 60 to 75 miles an hour in places, so major coastal flooding, severe beach erosion. We're going to have widespread power outages as well.
Well, nothing like a little weather panic to kick off the week. In the Northeast this time, where the snow will reach to the observation deck of the Empire State Building, the entire population of Manhattan will be forced to live as cave dwellers for weeks, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Let's chill for a moment, figuratively speaking, and bring some insight into Snowmageddon 2015 with chief forecaster for WeatherBELL.com and WeatherBELL Analytics. More than 30 years nailing those weather forecasts. Joe Bastardi joins us. Joe, all right, you're on the clock. Here we go. Can't get it wrong, can't nail it. Tell us right away that there's absolutely no chance that weather forecasters got this one wrong and it's just going to go ahead and wither off to the side somewhere.
No, it's not going to wither off to the side. It's funny you brought up Snowmageddon because about 10 days ago I said we were in for a mini version of that overall. That lasted for 3-4 weeks. It was centered on D.C. and we were watching a situation in the tropical Pacific. A very similar situation was going on. And in the face of a lot of, if you looked at your app 10 days ago, you would have never believed this was coming. But every time I see that kind of situation go on out there, and I mentioned it to people who follow me, I said, look out, here it comes. And this isn't going to be the last storm this year, believe me. In fact, some of you folks in the Northeast, you may not see it rain again before February 15th because every precipitation event will be in the form of snow. So pretty wild stuff.
Quick update here. We've also just gotten word that American Airlines has canceled all their flights. We've had a lot of flight cancellations here, but American Airlines now the latest. All flights out of New York, Philadelphia, and Boston have now been canceled. Joe, I can only imagine. I've been in this a couple of times, but what this does to an area, what this does, not just air travel, but the people themselves. What we're talking about here is streets that are going to be blocked. Are we talking here against Mother Nature, snow that's going to come down so hard, so fast, and so wet that no matter how hard they try, it's going to be tough for the trucks to get ahead of this one?
Well, I don't think the wet snow, I think the wet snow is going to be confined to maybe some coastal areas. This is going to be a very dry storm, more like something you might see in the Midwest where temperatures are in the teens and 20s while it's snowing rather than, near 32 or 33 degrees like that. But it's actually a blessing in some respects in that the heavy wet snows with the kind of wind that this is going to produce, those are the type that take trees and power lines down. This is a type of situation where a lot of it just blows through the trees, and so that's a positive there. And a lot of the electricity lines are buried underground. But this is a big storm for you folks in New England. Think February 1978, very, very similar to that overall. New York City, the benchmark storm was just several years ago, February 2006. So it's not like this hasn't happened. In December 2010. Day after Christmas, 25 inches of snow. So we have recent memory of this in New York. I think the place that's going to get hit worse, Long Island, New England, places like that. And again, those people are watching. If you think about 1978, chances are this is going to give it a run for the money.
Joe, 90 seconds left. Here comes the question. How much of this is due to global warming, be it either Mother Nature or either be man-made?
Absolutely none. I get a kick out of these guys that come on and tell me after what I was on saying well before about this winter, about how this winter was going to turn brutal. And I think it's going to last right through March and April, and into April. You know why? Because it's analog to 1978, 1958. Where was the global warming then? Right? So basically, it's like last year. We analog 93, 94, and 17, 18. People trying to tell me it's global warming. I'm saying it's because the same situation set up that we saw before. So this has absolutely nothing to do with that. That's an unbelievable argument. I don't even like talking about it anymore because you got a bunch of people who have never made a forecast in their life thinking that they can tell people what's going to happen in the future. That should raise alarm bells right off the bat.
I only got 30 seconds left, but just hitting on that a little bit. I don't think I've heard anything make you so angry. This really angers you, and you have all these amateurs out there basically throwing it out there, doesn't it?
It's a waste of our nation's time and money. And the problem is that these guys are like rock stars now. I mean, you get books put out, I'm on the front line of the climate wars, and he's a villain, I'm a hero. That's nuts. You want to be on the front line of war, why don't you go to Afghanistan and see what our guys are doing over there? This is like theologians arguing over how many angels they can stick on the head of a needle. Our nation has a lot bigger problems than this. And why would I want to downplay it? I'd say, I love extreme weather. Come to me for the forecast. So I have no dog in this fight except to be right.
Joe, you are the pit bull on this one. Let's just go ahead and put it right there. Joe Bastardi, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Right, take care. John Boehner and Mitch McConnell sat down for 60 minutes and dealt out a few interesting pieces of meat for other pit bulls and the president to chew on. That and so much more coming up when the Monday edition of MidPoint continues.